All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a piece of tech that you use every single day, probably without even thinking about it. We are talking about natural language processing. And honestly, it's kind of the hidden mind behind so much of our digital world. I mean, have you ever wondered about that? You type some jumbled up question into a search bar, or you ask your smart speaker to play a song, and somehow it just gets it. It really feels like magic, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you it's not magic at all, but something, way more interesting? The reality is, this technology is basically woven into the fabric of our everyday lives. It's that chatbot that helps you figure out your order, it's the spam filter that, thank goodness, keeps your inbox clean, and it's the absolutely incredible tool that is Google Translate, just tearing down language barriers all over the globe. So what is this invisible force, this ghost in the machine, that's making all this stuff possible? Well, it's a really powerful field of artificial intelligence, and it has a name. It's called natural language processing, or NLP for short. And at its heart, it's all about one simple but incredibly ambitious goal: teaching computers how to understand our language. Human language, with all of its weird nuances and context and complexity. It's all about bridging that gap between how we talk and how computers think. Okay, so how in the world do you teach a machine, a thing that only thinks in ones and zeros, to understand a poem, or even just a simple question? Well, the process is actually pretty methodical, and it all starts by breaking our language down into little pieces that a computer can actually digest. It really boils down to a pretty clear, structured process. We start with the raw text, we break it down with something called tokenization, then we translate it into numbers through embedding, and only then can the machine start to figure out what it all means. So let's start with that first step, tokenization. It's kind of like digital deconstruction. First up is tokenization. This is a fancy word for something really simple, just breaking a sentence down into its individual parts, or tokens. These are usually words or punctuation. Just think of it like taking apart a Lego model, brick by brick, so you can see how the whole thing was put together. So once we have all our little word bricks, we get to the next, absolutely crucial step: embedding. See, a computer has no idea what the word fox means, but it is a genius when it comes to numbers. Embedding is what translates each of those words into a unique set of numbers, which we call a vector. But, and this is the brilliant part, these numbers aren't random at all. They're actually designed so that words with similar meanings end up closer together in a kind of mathematical space. This is how the machine captures the relationships and the context between them. So cool. So, the machine has broken our language down and turned it into numbers it can actually crunch. What can it do with all that power? Well, this is where it starts to get really, really impactful. This is where it starts to understand our world. One of the most common ways we see NLP in action is something called sentiment analysis. By looking at the words and all those numerical relationships we just talked about, a machine can figure out the emotional tone of what's being said. Is this product review glowing, or is it scathing? Is this tweet happy, or is it angry? This is, as you can imagine, an incredibly valuable tool for businesses, for researchers, really for anyone trying to get a read on public opinion. And behind all of this, there's real complex code. What you're looking at here is just one single line from a popular programming library that's used for NLP. Now, you don't need to understand what it says. The only thing to know is that there are thousands of lines just like this one, all working behind the scenes, creating the engine that turns our words into insights. This is the real machinery that powers all that magic. So when you put all of these pieces together, the tokenization, the embedding, the analysis, you don't just get a clever program. What you get is a way to have a completely new conversation between us and our machines. Ultimately, what NLP is all about is translation, but on the deepest level possible. It's about teaching computers not just to process our words, but to actually comprehend our meaning, our intent, and then to talk back to us in a way that feels natural, helpful, and, well, almost human. And that leaves us with a pretty profound thought, right? As this technology just keeps getting better and better, as machines get more skilled at understanding all the little subtleties of our language, that barrier between us and them gets smaller and smaller. So maybe the real question for the future isn't just about what computers can do for us, but what are the new questions we'll finally be able to ask them? And what kind of answers are we going to get?